Bad Education was released in 2019. This is directed by Corey Finley. It's written by Mike Makowski, based on The Bad Superintendent by Robert Colker, with a cast including Hugh Jackman, Allison Janney, we have Ray Romano and various others. It's because of Ray Romano that I wanted to watch this, and it sounded like it could have been interesting. It's based on the true story of the largest public school embezzlement in American history. And I went in with an open mind. It sounded like it could be interesting because it's based on a true story. But honestly, it's kind of boring. But it's rated really well on IMDb. At the time of recording, it has 7.1 out of 10 across 46,000 reviews and ratings. So a lot of people seem to have really enjoyed this. But I found the subject matter to be really, really dull. And there are plenty of positives, which I'll expand on, but I found the story itself to be very boring. The pacing is good. I might not be interested in what's happening, but I can say that it does move forward at a pretty steady pace. It's not slow in the sense that nothing happens or that scenes drag, but for me it did feel like a slow experience because I was just waiting for something interesting to happen. And in terms of the narrative specifics, interesting things never really happened at all. Nothing was that fascinating, nothing was exciting, nothing was interesting. I just could not care less. And as I said, it sounded interesting because it's based on a true story, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get an education here. I wasn't aware of this situation, and I just don't understand why anybody would find this to be an interesting topic, unless you're involved in the true story. Maybe you went to that school. Maybe you know somebody who went to that school. In that case, assuming it's factually accurate, yeah, that could be quite interesting. But if you have no connection to the story, it's just not fascinating. It's kind of bland. And as far as embezzlement goes, that's not to say it can't be an interesting topic, but here it just doesn't work. The characters are also really, really boring. They're well written in the sense that they're believable and the performances are decent, but I could not care less about anybody. So the narrative was boring, the characters were dull. It didn't really offer me anything at all. Good camera work, good lighting, great locations, good music. Sure, there were maybe a couple of scenes where I thought, okay, it's starting to get a little bit better, but then it dropped off, never really going anywhere. It's just not a fascinating story. Could it be interesting? I guess maybe if it were told in a different way, but I feel like then there would be the argument that it was overly dramatic and that they were trying too hard to make it suspenseful and too gripping, when in actual fact that's not the case. It's quite slow. Steady, but slow. So Bad Education, in my opinion, isn't a good film. It's not a fascinating concept. I don't think the characters are interesting. But if you are curious, and certainly if you have any connection to the true story, give it a go. Let me know what you think, but I really didn't like it.